Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome to the first episode of whatever the title is, because I don't even have a title yet. But yeah guys, this is going to be a sit-down podcast of sorts, and I'm just really excited to get into it. I've been doing like a podcast for I think 3-4 months now. I think it was right before Halloween, so I think it was like October. And I've been doing it a lot, and I think I have 32 episodes, and I have different. Welcome. I just want to say welcome, guys, to this podcast, and this is going to be a video. It's on the same YouTube channel. I'm just going to talk about whatever. I have a few things that I do want to talk about, and then the rest is going to be just whatever comes out of my mouth, which hopefully is good. But yeah, I'm just going to talk. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I love conversation. I love talking to people, and then as this goes on, I'm going to have guests, friends, family, people that I find interesting, and just people who have answers to questions that I am always pondering and thoughts that I'm always flowing through my head. Because that's like one thing that I find very interesting, is I think a lot. And I think the moments where I think people are most I think the ability to conversate with somebody is something that has slowly been diminishing in the world, especially in today's day and age. I think the ability to have a conversation, I think the ability to just talk one-on-one, I think that ability is slowly fading, and I think it's super important. I think it's very important, and that's why I'm implementing this kind of setup on this channel. I'm still going to do the vlogs. I'm still going to probably do 2 vlogs a week. But then this episode, I want to do this series every Friday. I want to come out with an episode every Friday. With that being said, if it depends on how well it does, I'm going to possibly increase that to maybe 2 times a week. So first off, let me just explain where I am. I'm in a basement, in a little weight room. 22 years old, and I have been doing a podcast for a few months, and I've been getting a lot of people telling me, hey, I really like your podcast. I would love to do like a video version of the podcast. And for so long, I was pushing back for a number of reasons. Reason number 1, I don't want to have to start a new YouTube channel. Reason number 2, I don't want to. My camera I have it's a decent camera. I do most of my stuff on it. I do the vlogs. I do everything. Honestly, I do everything on it. And I think I was worried because it has like a max time of 30 minutes. And I was worried that people wouldn't want to, I guess 30 minutes was too short. And I was making up excuses that I didn't want to, if I wanted a longer podcast, I didn't want to have to stop at 30 minutes. But then one of my buddies at the gym, Ben, was like, "Hey, you can just start it up again." And I guess what I'm trying to say is that I have been making many excuses on why I shouldn't have a podcast, a visual podcast with a video. But all those are done because I'm sitting here and I'm 4 minutes into episode 1. And this is something I've been talking to a lot of people about, family, more or less just friends. A little bit of family here and there, obviously Taylor, about this. And I think what I can do, and I think my biggest impact, and without sounding like, full of myself, I think the biggest impact I can make is the ability to just kind of make people feel comfortable with their own thoughts by talking about my thoughts. And I think that's really powerful. And I honestly believe, to the core, that is something that I think a lot of people are afraid of. And I think a lot of people get so caught up with their schedules, and I think their life gets so caught up, and I think you get caught up whether it's because of the illusion of time, the construct of time, the false premises we're fed about what is and what is not important, and I think that those are very hard for people to, I guess, find an area where they can just be comfortable with their own thoughts. And I think what I do really well is that when I have a thought, and I know this is very impulsive, and I think it's something that at times I need to constrain a little bit. I need to really think it through. I really, but when I have a thought, you guys see it on all my social media. And what is social media to me? Social media to me is just the ability for me to get my thoughts and opinions out there, because I've had a number of people who have sent me life-changing DMs and text messages, and even come up to me in person saying, hey, you've done this for me, and I don't ever stop. Like, you have motivated the shit out of me, and I think that is my purpose. And that's what I enjoy doing, and I really do. I love it. Like, I really do love sitting here and talking to you guys. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, the views are cool. You know, people coming up and saying things, and the ability to say that you own your own company that does decent at my age, and all that stuff is cool. But I think the biggest impact that I make and that I continue to make is the ability to just have people come up to me and the life-changing stories and messages and stuff like that. And there's so many examples of it, and people that I've helped. If it's something as simple, like I was talking to my buddy at the gym today, and he's going over his weights, and he's telling me, we can't hit triceps today because I got triceps on Friday. And I'm like, why? You know, that's my thing. I'm like, why? Why can't you do it? Because that's my schedule. And I say, why? You know, why? Why is that your schedule? And then you know, there's no response. And I think this speaks on many things. I think a lot of us have this idea that we must be doing that we have traditional obligations, and the moment we go off of those obligations, those traditional obligations, we are ostracized. And I think a lot of people, and I think this is in our DNA, we don't want to be ostracized. We don't want to be thought upon as a unique, not unique, but we don't want to be thought about as something different, because humans fear different. The first thing we notice about people is not similarities, we notice differences. The reason why we notice differences is because it's a challenge, and that goes back, it's very primitive, it goes back to, especially for men and females, because men are always looking for a hierarchy. We want to be at the top, and I think if you notice similarities, it makes your presence less important. And if your presence is less important, then I think the humanistic idea comes in that we're all just people. And I think that is something that I see a lot in people, and it's hard, it sucks. It's one of those things that can really just hold you by the neck. And I guess this is why I like this long platform. This is what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get to that. I'm trying to show you guys, and I'm trying to be like the target where people just load up their arrows and just shoot at all day. And that, because I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay to be that weird guy. I'm okay to be that person when you go to parties, you know, they say, you see what this dude's doing, or just be the laughing stock. That's okay for me. You know, that's okay, because I've never valued my importance on the opinions of others. My importance, and that's not true. I definitely have. But my importance is not the opinions of other people. No. My importance and what I feel is when I can watch somebody and I can see somebody make a change that's better for them because of something that I have been able to do for them. Whether it be my buddy Charles, I have helped him lose weight. And it's weight. It's extra energy being burned. You lose weight. It's that simple. But in the process, I was able to spark a sense of confidence from within him that allows him to control his life now. And I think that is super important. I think that is super important. The ability to control your own life. And it's very, 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 very hard. It's very hard with the influence of social media, with the influence of our parents, with the influence of friends and family, and especially the people that are closest to you. And not just the people that are closest to you, but the people that know you the most. That's when it gets tricky. I always tell people it's the hardest to open. And this is for me, and I think a lot of guys, when I say guys, I mean girls and guys. I think a lot of girls and guys can understand that. I think nothing against family, nothing against people that are really close to you, but the idea that you can open, and I know I struggle with this, the ability to open up about the ability to be 100% truthful to yourself is borderline impossible, especially with people that know you really well. Because the people that know you really well, they have a very large, they have a very wide amount of experience with you. They've seen you up here, they've seen you here, they've seen you everywhere in between, all the points in between. So when you have an extreme level of excitement about something, or extreme level of anxiety about something, or extreme level of sadness, borderline depression about yourself, when you go to somebody that you really care about, they love you and they want to be there for you, but especially with excitement, it's always this, I'm here, I'm holding you, but I'm also trying to pull your hand back. I want you to go up here, but I also want to pull your hand back. And I want to pull your hand back because I've seen this before, and I've seen this before many times, and I don't want you to get hurt again. And I think that is good. I think that's really healthy to have. I think that's really good to have. But also I do think it's very important to just surround yourself with people that have this ability to hold you there. And although they're worried about you, they don't know everything that you've been through. They don't know everything about you. They don't know all the emotional highs and all the emotional lows that you've been through. And I think the ability, once you get to that point and you have those people, I think that's good. I think that's healthy. And when you say that, and I was talking to my therapist about this, when you say that, it hurts a lot of people's feelings. But the idea that we have to have one person to take care of us is crazy. It's crazy, and it's in our DNA. It's in our DNA. It's not how we function. If we were, primitive humans, we needed everybody. It was a community. And we assigned different tasks to different people. And I think what's happening, especially with younger people, I think what's happening is that we get very caught up with the individual sense of accomplishment. And I think a lot of that's due to social media. I think we don't want to let other people take care of us, and we don't want other people to understand us, because there are people out there who are corrupt enough where they will use that against you, and it sucks. It's like a play of cards. Have you experienced that a lot? Have you experienced that a little bit? Which one is it? And if you've experienced that a lot, where a lot of people know things about you and they use it against you, then you probably are not going to go that route to just have different people and have different tasks for different people. I don't know what I'm going there. I don't know exactly where I was going with that, but what I'm saying is that the people, if you look around you and you have somebody, you have a number of people, if it's like everybody you know is very, this is the worst outcome, and they ignore the other side of it, the good outcome, the possibility to achieve happiness instead of achieving the opposite. If you just have the people who just look at the opposite, the bad, the negative, that's not good. I'm not saying you shouldn't have anybody like that. You should. You should have people around you that are always, we call them pessimistic, but I think the word that a lot of people should use instead is almost like a very realistic person. Somebody who will speak up and say, hey man, well, what if this happens? Because I think a lot of people get caught up with their lives that they don't even think about that. I think that's really important. And if you're going to have somebody who's just very positive, that's what I tell people. And I tell also the negative people. If you are a very, very positive person, that's good. That's fine. But you got to be aware of the negative options. Just like if you're a very pessimistic person or realistic person, obviously those are not interchangeable. They're different. I think it's good to have people who can give you the other viewpoint. Well, this could happen too. And I mean, that goes back to a lot of different things. Humans, I think we try to oversimplify what we are. We're not simple organisms. I was talking to a few people I work with at the gym, and I say some very extraterrestrial things. My vocab sucks. My speech is really bad. I went to school actually. A lot of people don't know this, but I had a really bad speech impediment for a while. I'll get into that later in this episode. I'm going to get into all that. But I was talking to somebody at I guess what I was saying is that I do say a lot of words that aren't words, and I make them up, and I do that. I don't know. I don't know. But I was telling people that the idea of humans is a very interesting concept. If you look at single-cell organisms, a single-cell organism, one cell, inside of our body, will consider our body the equivalent of what we as humans consider the solar system. What I'm saying there is that it's perspective. We are a breathing organism in this world. We are here because we were dominant at a certain point in time. And the idea that this small cell, and the idea that something under us is not as important as us, is very dangerous. That one small cell created plants. That one plant created food for an animal, for herbivore. That herbivore created food for omnivores and carnivores. That plant fed gorillas. That gorilla fought to the top. That gorilla became us. I think what's happened, a lot of things going on is we are just so far from that. We just oversimplify everything. Nothing is simple. Everything is complex. And I think it's good to kind of be in this mindset where you just kind of forget about that, because it can be very hard for you to understand. But I think it's really good to come back every once in a while and actually talk about what we are and what we do and the purpose of us. And that's, I don't I talk sometimes, and I think I get really frustrated because I don't ever finish my thoughts, because my thoughts are just always everywhere. My thoughts are everywhere all the time. And the only time my thoughts aren't really running and racing, I'd be at the gym. You know, I'm an obsessive person. I think that's why the gym is something that I have held close to my heart forever, because it's peace of mind. The peace of mind is a beautiful thing. I think a lot of people, their core motor is to achieve peace of mind. Not knowing how to, but to achieve it somehow. Sports. The gym, reading for some people, drugs, alcohol. It's that peace of mind. It's the ability for the mind not to think. That is ultimately a very important thing for people. Is to have a mind that can sit there and just be happy. I think that's really, it's really important. I think it's really important. I think a lot of, I know for me, I'm happy a lot. But sometimes I just want to kind of take a switch and just turn it off a little bit. Not be dumb, not be like a wall, but just to have the ability to just sit there and be like, okay, you're okay. You're okay, Mike, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. No, you're not happy. You're not sad. You're not anxious. You're not angry. You're not confused. You're just okay. That's good. It's hard for that. It's hard to just be okay. We're told it's not good to just be okay. We're told, and I know for me, the way I was brought up is I needed solutions to everything. And I don't think there is a solution to anything. So don't tell this. The idea that we have answers and the idea that we have solutions is very strange. It's a very, very, very strange thing, because the solution that we had 50,000 years ago to kill a animal was to tackle it, basically have an abundance of men to beat it to death and see if we can kill this animal before it kills us all and eats us all. That was the solution at that time. That was the answer. That was the answer. Nowadays, take a gun and just shoot it and kill it. That's the answer. That's the answer. Answers are relative. Answers change. Answers flow. The solution to anything is always changing. It's an organism. Answers are just a way to put our mind at ease for a period of time, because answers always change. I always think it's funny. I'm always thinking about like math and the world and the idea of infinity. That's been my kick lately. My kick lately has been infinity. And my other kick has been the other thing I've been really obsessing about, which I don't like the word obsessive. I shouldn't use that word, but it's been infinity and the idea of memories. The idea of memories is super important. I forget what I was saying. Damn it, forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, solution. I always kind of mock like the math world and like biology. Honestly, especially math. It's so funny. Like, what if one of the building blocks of math was just kind of, like, if you have a big building, you build like the Empire State Building, and what if that one block you put down at the bottom was just a little bit iffy? Just like, okay, we're gonna pass it. It's good. But I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get a sandwich. It's almost lunchtime. I could spend an extra 10 minutes here, get the block nice and down. But nah, I'm hungry. It's my lunchtime. I don't get paid for this. What if like that was like the basis of humans, or the basis of a lot of theories that we have? What if like that block was just laid down, different math equations? So like the ideas of numbers are super strange. I'm always thinking about this. Like, numbers are the most powerful thing we have in this world. Like, so powerful. Like, think about anything powerful, and then think about a number. A number is a universal language. One means one to me. This weight, one weight. If I give this weight to somebody in Mexico, one. If I say uno, they pick up one. They say one. They go like this. The idea of, if I go to whatever another country, let's say Switzerland. I don't know what one is in Switzerland, or in whatever language that is, but they would pick up one thing. Numbers are very strange. We built everything on numbers. It's a universal language. That and emojis. Emojis are also a universal language. It's turning us into, I don't know, emojis are scary. I guess what I'm trying to say is that that numbers are very interesting. We live our life by the number system, whether it be a time, to control this world, this thing that goes day and night, sunlight, dark light, sunlight, dark light. Sometimes it doesn't. In some places, there is never sunlight. Some places, there is never darkness. But there is an effect on that on our body. So the ability for us to take Earth and take natural rotation of of the sun and the Earth, and we add numbers to it. We have 24, 365. I understand it goes around, and you can time the seasonings up, but the idea of numbers, it's almost like with numbers as cement in our DNA as the idea of procreating humans, of having intercourse and producing babies. I mean, because we do everything with numbers. Numbers stress us out, man. Like, if we are late to something, you are late. You are late because I deem 4 o'clock the time you're supposed to be here. If you're not here at 4 o'clock, I will give you a warning. I will fire you potentially. Age, if you are 21, you can have alcohol, something that kills you, that hurts your liver. You can have it. But if you're 20, we don't take any biology into it. What if our bodies are developed? What if our brain is developed? But it's like this number. It's so crazy. And I don't know. I've always since I could speak, since I could think, I've had an obsession with numbers. I've always had an obsession with numbers. I remember I was telling my buddy Charles this, because I never opened it up. I never opened to people about it, because I always thought it was something that everybody did. I remember my mind is always moving very, very quick. If I'm forced into a setting where it can't move quick, like school, if I'm forced in a school setting where I'm not allowed to have freedom of thought and my brain is not allowed to just drift and think about numbers and sperm and just weird stuff, I used to go to an escape, and my escape was numbers. I used to take numbers in the alphabet. I would take words. And I would just put them in order. I would take words and I would put the letters in alphabetical order. And I still do it to this day. I try not to. I try to not do it, but let's just take this weight for example. I don't know if you guys see it, but it says fitness. So EFINSST, it says gear, AEGR. I don't care, any word, Mississippi, MPPSSSS. Elbeco, right over here, this company, it's spelled ELBECO, BCEELO. You take anything, any word, watch this. I'll put this whole sign right here in alphabetical order. I'll put this entire sign in alphabetical order, and I'll try to go all the way through it without even attempting, without messing up once. So let's start there. EEHRT or AER. No, obviously. What is it? Shortcuts. This would be CHORSSTTU. 2 OOT, obviously. Any place. AACELNPY. Worth. HORTW. Going. GGINL. Like that. Used to lit, and it's so funny because I mean when I first shared it with somebody, it's obviously a very OCD, it's very obsessive compulsive disorder. It's also a side effect of ADHD. It can also be a side effect of just being bored and not challenged. So I used to do that. You guys saw that, you know. And like Packers, ACEKPRS, and the fact that I'm even obsessed about it right now is kind of ironic. But yeah, like letters have always been very interesting to me. Numbers, I would always take a clock. Like I would look at this time right here. It's 2:17. I would try to figure out a way to implement all those numbers in order for them to equal a certain number within the number. So 2:17. How do I get all those numbers to equal 7? Let me show you. Ready? 2 times 1 equals 2, 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4 times 1 equals 4, 4 plus 3, because 2 plus 1 equals 3, 4 plus 3 equals 7, 7 minus 7 equals 0, 7 minus 7 equals 0, 7 divided by 7 equals 1, which is a 1 in 217, but if I do, you know, stuff like that, like just crazy numbers, that used to be another thing, and I still do that, it's still like there, but like I remember having conversations with people where I would just like talk like that, and I mean they would like be having a conversation with me, and it hurt me a lot in like relationships, and hurt me a lot with like friends, and hurt me in a lot of situations, a lot of social situations, because they could be talking to me and I just wouldn't be thinking about it. Yeah, like I said, there's only 30-minute capacity on this camera. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, numbers have always been super interesting. The alphabet's always been intriguing to me. I think it's always been interesting to me because there's always infinite solutions to it. And I think infinite solutions allow my brain to always feel like there's a purpose, just like a dog loves a ball and loves to chase a ball because it gives him purpose. But like I said, it definitely has like impacted me in like negative ways, and it's something I'm trying to control right now. I mean, I know a lot of people speak to me and you see me and you talk to me, and it's pretty noticeable. And I guess, I don't know, it's something I've always struggled with. Like, I'm not trying to say, oh, pity me, but like I said, the whole point of this podcast is I want people to really just kind of listen to me, and not listen to me, but like feel comfortable with themselves because of flaws that I might examine on here. Yeah, like, it's, I don't know, we all have our own little quirks. Like, we all have our own little quirks, we all have our own little things, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful. Humans are amazing. We're amazing, and so many times I say things like we don't matter, like nothing around us matters. And in a way, yes, but in a way, no. In a way, you can't argue the feelings that you get. This is one of the things I always explain to people. You can't argue the feelings that you get. When you argue feelings that appear, that's when you get in trouble. When you try to fight them. When you really try to fight them. That's why it's hard for in relationships if you put like borders and guidelines of what you can and can't talk about. You can't talk about them or her or him. I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that. When you put guidelines on anything, or when you try to ignore your emotions at the core, that's a dangerous path. Like, you don't want to go down that path. That's a dangerous path. Emotions are. They are. They are. You are 6 foot tall. You are 200 pounds, relatively, if you believe the numbers, which I do. I'm not saying I don't. I do. They're just crazy. Emotions are. You can't fight them. You can hide from them, but not for so long. You can try to understand them, but you never will. You can try to find comfort in them. That's the best option. But running from them, or denying them, or the worst, trying to hide them from other people because of the pressure they put on you, the person, that shit is so dangerous. So dangerous. You might be somewhere in your life right now where you're experiencing that. I'm so blessed to have Taylor, who she lets me have these thoughts. Like this conversation right here, she's had to sit through hundreds of these. She deals with it the best way. She says, it's going to be okay, Mike. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It was never allowed to be okay. I never thought I could be okay. Okay meant nothing. Like, being okay, like good, meant that you weren't going forward, you weren't going backwards. And I always think you gotta go forward to backwards. But sometimes the best thing to do is just to be okay. Yeah. You know, and I'm lucky to have that. I don't have to have an answer for her. I don't have to have an answer to why I feel a certain way. I don't have to feel shame for things that I've done, things that I've said. I don't have to mask the person I am. I don't have to portray myself a certain way. That's dangerous. It's real dangerous. I don't have to compete. shouldn't have to compete. You shouldn't have to compete with somebody. You shouldn't always have to explain yourself either unless you did wrong. You don't need to have answers. That's the most important thing is you don't need to have answers, man. Because finding that answer will destroy you. And like I already said about answers, they're all just temporary band-aids that will be proven false or proven right or go away or, yeah. You may not feel important. You may feel weak. You may feel useless. You may feel no importance. But to your child, you mean everything. To your mom, to your dad, you mean everything. And that in itself needs to show some value. That needs to carry a certain amount of power. Why am I so angry? Fuck, why am I so angry? Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's okay. But you can still be angry. Oh, I'm so sad. So sad. Fucking sad. I didn't want her to leave. Messed up, man. I messed up. Why am I sad? Let's break it down. Let's figure it out. Why am I sad? Fix it. Taylor, I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm just feeling lost. Can I just sit with you and be quiet? Just watch a TV show? Yeah, we can do that, Michael. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Sometimes 1 + 1 is not what you want to hear. Sometimes you don't want to hear that it will be okay. Sometimes you don't want to hear that it's perfect. Sometimes you don't want to be told that you could have done it a certain way. Sometimes you don't want to be told that maybe you shouldn't have said that to somebody. Sometimes that stuff needs to be said, but just not at the moment. Sometimes you can just, it's okay to just kind of be. That's something I've been fighting against my entire life. I've been fighting against that. I think I'm giving in finally. I'm understanding that it's okay to just be this. Be this. Be here. It's okay I dropped out of school. I'm back in school. It's okay if you drop out of school and you don't go back to school. It's okay. Just make the most out of it. Do good. As long as you do good, you're fine. So much nonsensical pressure. If you really want to break it down, I don't want to offend anybody, but the whole reason we live is to procreate and have humans, pass our DNA. That's the whole reason why we do it. What happens between birth and death is just whatever. I think memories are the closest thing we have to reality. Memories are super interesting. It's okay to just be okay. That's all I want to say. Thank you, Taylor. Memories are very interesting. And two of the hardest diseases to have affect your family, affect you, and affect people that you care about is Alzheimer's and dementia. Why? Because memories. I've had family members diagnosed with cancer. Sucks. Sucks to know that you're going to die. That you're going to die eventually. As of right now, it's a death sentence pretty much. Not always. Sometimes you can fight it. But I've also had people great grandmother had Alzheimer's, and it just sucked. Like, one minute they know you, next moment they don't, and it's like, fuck, we had all this. You don't remember that? You don't remember that time? You don't remember that time you took me fishing, Grandma? Who are you? Get out of here. I don't know who you are. John? Jimmy? What's your name? What's your name? Help, help, nurse, I need help. Help, nurse. I love you. You don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know me. You want the nurse. You want security called on me. And it's like, that's so scary. Memories are so important. I was doing some research today. It's February 7th, I think. I don't know if I told you guys. I was doing some research today, and Discovery made at Emory College. I think it was Emory. It was some medical school. It was Emory in Atlanta, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure. Damn it, I don't know. But they had a trial with mice, and they proved that memories are passed down through genetics, epigenetics, and that's crazy. Think about that. A lot of historical cultures, they rely off a lot of their ancestors. They feel like their ancestors. I feel like my aunt, my grandma is still inside of me. I have these thoughts. This is a theory. I don't know if it's proof fact, but they were trying to prove it, that memories are passed down through sperm cells. That when you die, you stop breathing, your brain shuts down, blood stops flowing. When you have a child, when you can pass your DNA, you're passing. When a baby is old enough to be aware, they have a sense of fear. Unless you're a sociopath, psychopath, but you get a sense of fear, you get a sense of happiness. You don't have to think about those things. You don't. They just appear. They appear. Sometimes you fight them, but if you let them in, you don't have to fight them. They're there. Why do we not think memories can do the same? A lot of people think that the use of psychedelics can open up that wall. I don't know. I don't take drugs. I never have. But I always found that interesting. It's always interesting. The idea of memory being passed down from child to child is crazy. Crazy. It's crazy to think about. I don't know. It could be the bullshit science. I don't know. I don't know a thing. It's still okay. I feel okay. You're okay. Yeah, guys. I don't know. Covered a lot. Yeah. But I'm really excited about this podcast. I just want to see where it goes. It's something I've always wanted to do. I just kind of fought it because of fear. But, yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. I will have guests on in the future. I got a lot of different people. I talk a lot, but like if I'm talking to somebody, I don't speak really. I just let them talk. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, let me know. Leave a like, share it, comment, subscribe. We will see you guys in the next episode of whatever the title is. I don't have a name for it. I gotta come up with a name. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for accepting this. And if you guys don't like it, let me know. Give me a reason. If you guys do like it, let me know. But we're alive. Life's good, man. Keep it up. Thank you guys so much for listening. See you guys in the next podcast episode. Stay tuned for the next vlog.